I am not going to apologize now or ever for continuing to like or support either the Daily Wire or Candace Owens, just like I'm not going to apologize now or ever for continuing to like or support Steven Crowder. In my opinion, Candace Owens specifically was always an odd fit at the Daily Wire, and that is for several reasons that I'm not going to get into in this video. But there are way too many of you engaging in leftist tactics, attempting to get myself or others to renounce our support, be it financial or otherwise, because one or two of these entities maybe made a mistake that you personally find disagreeable. And as far as the Candace Owens Daily Wire thing, there are conservative actors on both sides who are clearly taking their cues from leftists. Okay, there are anti-Candace people who are grossly and obviously expanding the definition of anti-Semitism. I disagree with that. That is a leftist tactic. And then there are pro-Candace people who are, for example, berating Matt Walsh for not speaking more on Israel because he claims to be against American aid to Israel, and they want to know, well, why are you so silent on it? And the fact that you're silent is part of the problem. That is a leftist tactic, okay? Silence is violence is a leftist tactic. And there are also pro-Candace people who are attempting to get others to renounce their financial support or other kind of support of the Daily Wire just because the Daily Wire may or may not have made this one mistake here. That's also a leftist tactic. When I was a Democrat, you could check all the boxes, you could believe all the right things, do all the right things, but if you made one misstep or if you disagreed on one thing or you even had a question, then you were out. And I experienced that during the hypocrisy of the response to COVID versus the response to the BLM unrest. I checked all the boxes, but I had some questions in summer 2020 and I was out. I reject that mentality that the minute someone makes a mistake or even a possible mistake, they're out and we have to burn it all down. I reject that. And as far as the Steven Crowder controversy, there are a hell of a lot of conservatives who are running off pure emotion, who are expanding the definition of abuse, who are pretending to be psychologists who can spot abuse in a 2-minute Ring camera video and who are immediately rushing to take the woman's side. And I am not saying that that's right or wrong, or I know who's right or wrong in that situation. I don't think any of us will never know the full story. And while all of those taken together are not necessarily leftist tactics, they are certainly not necessarily conservative tactics or countercultural tactics. They are not really helping us reach our ends here. And that does not mean that you have to continue to like or support Steven or Candace or the Daily Wire, but there are way too many of you who are just ready to burn it all down because there may or may not have been some mistakes made. And that is, again, a leftist tactic. I am not going to be bullied into saying something I don't believe. I am not going to be bullied into choosing a side or jumping on a particular bandwagon. I am going to continue to derive value from the places where I derive value. I'm going to continue to take the good and leave the rest, and I'm not going to apologize for it. I look at the entirety of the body of work, and I understand that I do not know what goes on behind closed doors or the reasoning for a lot of these things or what actually happened, and I certainly do not know the characters of these people. So I derive the value that I derive from them as the personalities, as the commentators that they are, and I leave the rest. And I'll continue to do that and not apologize.